Right. So, Odysseus, I was just thinking about, how much stuff just changes hands, especially really valuable things like art, artifacts, all that. It's pretty wild, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those things you don't really think about until you start digging into it, and then you realize just how much history is embedded in an object's, its journey from one owner to another. It's not just about who bought it, It's about the wealth, the power shifts, the entire cultural appreciation changing over centuries. It's absolutely fascinating, actually.
Yeah, it really is. And when did this even become a formal thing? Because, I guess people have always traded valuable stuff, but when did it become organized?
Well, you're right. It's been happening forever. But the proper art auction, as we sort of recognize it today, it actually goes way, way back to ancient Rome. But it really, really picked up and got formalized in the 17th century. That's when you start seeing institutions we still know today, like Sotheby's, founded in 1744, and Christie's, established just a bit later in 1766. They really, they kind of codified the whole thing, creating these incredibly detailed records of sales.
Wow, so they've been at it for ages then. That's a lot of history right there. So, okay, give me an example. What's one of the most notorious pieces that's just been bought and sold, traded hands countless times?
Oh, without a doubt. If we're talking about a modern, well-documented, convoluted sales history, it has to be Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi. This painting, it depicts Jesus Christ, and its past is it's a saga, honestly. It was actually thought to be a copy of a lost original for, ages. It was in obscurity, then rediscovered, then authenticated. It's quite the tale.
Really? So it was just sitting there, kind of forgotten about?
Pretty much, yeah. And then its modern-day sales history. Oh, Athena, it's absolutely mind-boggling. It had several high-profile transactions, but the big one, the absolutely record-breaking sale, was in 2017. It went for, wait for it, approximately $450.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right, to Prince Badr bin Abdullah Al Saud. Supposedly for Abu Dhabi's Department of Culture and Tourism. Prior to that, it was acquired by a Russian billionaire in 2013 for $127.5 million, having been sold to an art dealer for $80 million before that. It's just this rapid increase in valuation. It's insane, really.
Oh my goodness, 450 million. That's just a number I can't barely even comprehend. It's it went from 80 to over 400 in a few years. That's wild. What about more modern stuff? Anything else that's seen a lot of movement, in the contemporary market?
Oh, absolutely. If you look at Andy Warhol's Shot Sage Blue Marilyn, that's another fantastic example. Part of his iconic series, of course. That piece, it sold for just over $195 million to the art dealer Larry Gagosian in 2022. And that actually set a new auction record for an American artist. It was quite the event, really.
Wow. So Warhol's stuff just keeps, appreciating?
Yeah, it really does. The Shot Marilyn series, that specific one, it has a quite notable provenance, and different works from that series are, constantly appearing on the market. In fact, another work from his Flowers series, also by Warhol, sold for a respectable $35.48 million just this year in 2024. It just highlights how frequently his popular works are, traded. It's almost like a commodity at times. And it's really interesting to see how these artworks, they're not just, pretty pictures anymore. They're investments, they're assets, and that really changes the whole dynamic, doesn't it?
That's where it gets a bit trickier. Do you know what I mean? Because while we have pretty good records for the modern stuff with auction houses, for ancient artifacts, definitive records for individual pieces are often elusive. It's just less rigorous historical record keeping. But, categories of artifacts, particularly from ancient civilizations, they've undoubtedly been subject to countless transactions over millennia. I mean, think about it.
Yeah, I guess.
Antiquities, ranging from Roman and Greek sculptures to Egyptian relics, they've been collected, traded, and sold since ancient times. Often as spoils of war, which is quite a thought, isn't it? Or as part of estate sales. I mean, even the trade of copper artifacts, like that dates back to the Chalcolithic period, the Copper Age. So it really indicates an ancient history of valuable material exchange. In recent years, you do see some pieces, like an Assyrian gypsum relief of a winged genius, achieving multi-million-dollar prices at auction, showing they're still moving. But the full historical depth of their sales, that's often unrecorded, unfortunately. That's so interesting, like the difference between what we can track and what we just have to assume has moved around loads. So it really sounds like the market itself has just really changed, hasn't it?
Oh, totally. The market for fine art and historical artifacts has evolved massively. I mean, now we have the secondary art market, which deals specifically with artworks that have a sale history. And it's really increasingly considering art as an investment. That's a huge shift. This modern approach, coupled with all these online platforms, it's made historical sales data so much more accessible. And I think it's probably increased the frequency of transactions for certain high-value pieces. Do you know what I mean? Like that Warhol or even the Salvator Mundi.
Yeah, that makes sense. More info, more movement, I guess.
Exactly. But then you've got to remember, there are also those truly priceless works, like Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. Those are often held by museums, and they're rarely, if ever, sold. So they're kind of the exceptions to this whole frequent transaction trend. It's a really diverse and dynamic market, really. Just depends on the piece itself and its story.
That's such a comprehensive look at the physical art market. But, it makes me wonder, with all this talk of digital spaces, is there a similar kind of market or even transactions for art that only exists online? Or is that just a totally different beast?
Oh, Athena, you've hit on one of the most revolutionary shifts in art valuation in decades. The online realm for art, especially in recent years, has absolutely exploded, primarily driven by what we call non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. It's a completely new paradigm for ownership.
NFTs, right. I keep hearing about them, but it still feels a bit abstract. So people are actually buying and selling digital images or even videos for significant sums?
They absolutely are, and for truly staggering amounts. Think of it this way. For the first time, digital artists can create truly unique, verifiable digital scarcity. A prime example is Beeple's Everyday's The First 5,000 Days, which sold for over $69 million at Christie's in 2021. It's a single JPEG file, but the NFT attached to it proves unique ownership.
69 million for a JPEG? That's just mind-blowing. So it's not just about the image itself then. It's about the unique digital signature on the blockchain proving you own that specific original file?
Precisely. It's the verifiable provenance and the unique digital signature, the token, that gives it value. It's a new form of digital asset, and it's completely reshaped what collectible means, extending the concept of art as an investment into the purely virtual space.
Okay, so Beeple's Everydays is one colossal example. But are there other big names or projects in the NFT space that really show this whole digital ownership thing taking off?
Absolutely, Athena. Beyond Beeple, two iconic collections are CryptoPunks and the Bored Ape Yacht Club, or BAYAC. CryptoPunks by Larva Labs are 10,000 unique pixel art characters that pioneered the PFP trend. BAC expanded on this, offering not just an avatar, but membership to an exclusive community with specific benefits.
So it's not just about owning the image, it's about being part of a digital club, essentially. A really expensive one, judging by some headlines.
Precisely. The community aspect is massive. A single CryptoPunk sold for over $23 million in 2021, and ape floor prices have at times been in the hundreds of thousands. It's transformed into a cultural phenomenon, linking ownership to identity and belonging in a way we've never seen before in digital art. A fascinating blend of art, technology, and social status.
That's incredible, Odysseus. How much the concept of art and ownership has evolved, from physical canvases to digital tokens. But what's next? I've been hearing a lot about AI creating art, music, even movies. How does that fit into this evolving landscape?
Oh, Athena, you're on the bleeding edge. AI-generated creativity is exploding. Algorithms trained on vast human datasets now produce original pieces, from stunning visual art to musical compositions and even short films. It's truly a new era of artistic generation, raising profound questions about authorship and originality.
So it's not just a filter. The AI is truly creating something based on what it's learned? That's almost unsettlingly human.
Precisely. It's moving beyond automation to genuine generative capability. The value question is fascinating. While nascent, early AI art is selling. Its worth often lies in the novelty, algorithms, and the human prompt or curation. That collaboration is increasingly monetized.
So if AI is already creating art that sells, what about the big screens? Could we someday watch entire films, written, directed, and starring AI-generated characters in cinemas or on TV?
Athena, that someday is closer than you think. AI is already assisting with script generation, character concepts, and scene design, initially augmenting human creativity. The progression toward autonomous cinematic outputs is rapidly accelerating. It's a new frontier for storytelling.
That's incredible. So beyond just visual effects, we're talking full narratives and performances? Will audiences even know it's AI, or will it be seamless?
Integration will be subtle at first. AI-aided scripts, digital actors, but soon explicitly AI-created content will emerge. The core question is resonance. Can AI truly emote and tell a compelling human story that transcends novelty? That's the challenge for the silver and small screens alike.
So this brings up another fascinating angle. If AI can create compelling narratives and performances, could it also step in for actual actors, almost as digital understudies, or even, dare I say, benchwarmers for some roles?
Athena, you've hit on a practical and perhaps contentious application already being explored. Imagine background extras, non-speaking roles, or even stunt doubles being seamlessly filled by AI-generated digital humans. It offers incredible efficiencies for production teams.
That's wild. So instead of hiring dozens of human extras, a director could just generate them? And what about the ethics of that? Does it mean fewer opportunities for emerging actors?
Precisely. The allure is undeniable. Perfect consistency, no scheduling conflicts, and potentially immense cost savings. For roles requiring less emotional depth, AI is an ideal candidate. However, the true artistry, the human connection, the subtle improvisation that defines a great actor, That's where the human element remains irreplaceable for now. It's more about augmenting and assisting or filling utilitarian roles rather than outright replacing the leads.
So AI benchwarmers might take on the simpler tasks, freeing up human talent for the complex, nuanced roles. It's almost like a division of labor on the digital stage. Does this evolution change the very nature of film? Could a movie in the future be less of a mass-produced product and more of an animated painting?
That's a brilliant leap, Athena. Absolutely. With AI generating unique visual styles and narratives, a film could transcend traditional cinema. We might see movies sold as singular, verifiable digital artworks, precisely like an interactive animated painting.
Wow! So a movie not just watched, but potentially owned, like a Beeple NFT or a physical painting, a unique collectible piece that moves.
Precisely. Imagine a film generated and signed by its AI or a human curator. It could exist as a unique token, traded on digital marketplaces, its value fluctuating like any high-end artwork. A personalized, one-of-a-kind cinematic asset.
That's fascinating. It elevates filmmaking from production to a unique artistic creation that could appreciate in value, much like a rare painting.
Indeed, it's the ultimate convergence of the art market and cinematic innovation. The screenplay becomes an algorithm and the film itself a living, breathing, collectible piece of digital artistry.
That idea of a film as a collectible, animated painting is fascinating, but it makes me wonder, Odysseus, were there any ancient artworks, even paintings, that tried to capture movement or tell a story sequentially, almost like early animation?
Absolutely, Athena. While not animated in our modern sense, many ancient civilizations employed ingenious methods to convey time and narrative within static art. They deeply understood the power of sequential imagery.
Like, beyond just one scene? What are some examples of these moving pictures from way back then?
Think of continuous narrative friezes, like Trajan's column in Rome, where campaigns unfold spirally, or sequential panels in ancient Egyptian tomb paintings depicting life or journeys. Each scene progresses the story, much like frames in a film. Even medieval altarpieces guided the viewer's eye through a sequence of events.
So the paint didn't literally move, but the narrative was in motion, making your eye travel through the story.